this is what I have been trying to recreate. And I have been trying to make it for over 6 months now. So let's start with the journey at my old place where I was just brainstorming how to do this. I started off with Nata de Kombucha, which I did a while back. And I just took the kombucha SCOBY, chopped it up, removed the vinegar, added sugar. And it was actually pretty spot on. The next idea I had was to try to ferment coconut water. I also wanted to try to add SCOBY to coconut water to see if it could grow in that environment. I also wanted to then try to find the bacteria online. I found a lot of resources saying you just need to buy the bacteria and you're good to go. The last one, which is going to be the biggest experiment, is to isolate the bacteria from pineapple because apparently that is where you can find it the most easily. But with all of my brainstorming done, let's get started. Luckily, for the sake of this experiment, I may have forgotten that I had the Nata de Kombucha in my fridge all this time, so I went ahead and showed it off. It is literally the SCOBY from the kombucha, that thick, white, gelatinous thing. I chopped it up, rinsed out the vinegary taste, not the smell. It still stinks of apple cider vinegar. However, I rinsed out the vinegar taste, then boiled it in sugar, and it is pretty spot on for texture. So now this is where the fun starts, or where I naively thought they would. You'll see in a bit why I'm saying that, but I started off with trying to ferment the coconut water. I went ahead and just chucked a bunch of coconut water into a jar, added vinegar to prevent the mold, and then added a crap ton of sugar to help feed whatever yeast or bacteria is supposed to ferment. Now about that sugar, I forget to add it now, but I will add it in later and I'll point it out in a bit, but I did label all of these experiments because I know that someone out there is probably the same as me and is like, I need to figure out how to make this. So I wanted to make sure that I wrote down all of the ingredients, that way I could pass on my experimentation. Now to introduce you to my SCOBY collection. It's kind of gotten out of hand because I don't make kombucha that often. Oh my gosh, there's a layer already forming. This thing has too many. I need to give it away because there's too many. I then laid down a pad of protection because the vinegar smell will stick to anything. Oh my god. I played with this a week ago and it already has a layer. What the heck? She's fertile. So for this experiment, we are adding a SCOBY into a jar of coconut water with some sugar because I wanted to see if it would actually grow in that environment because kombucha is made from fermenting tea. I don't want to touch it. Come on. Come on. Oh. Your new pink home. And it is off to live its Barbie pink dreams in a cold, dark cupboard, but I went ahead and labeled it, added the lid, and still forgot that sugar, but we'll come back for it soon. You know what? I think these should go in the same area. Not sure why that mattered to me at that point, but I went ahead and announced it to the world. I am going to start the third experiment now. I am doing coconut water, and then I am going to take the kombucha juices to help see if maybe that will also stimulate the pellicule. It's pellicule. I just Googled it. Anyways, I went ahead and labeled it, and this is when I start to realize, sugar. So I went ahead and added a crap ton to this experiment. By crap ton, I mean about 1 to 2 tablespoons. And then I brought back all of the other experiments and gave them also a crap ton of sugar as well. Now with those 3 experiments set up and with the accurate amount of sugar, I went ahead and started with the next one, which is the ones that are actually supposed to produce the Nata de Coco. And so I'm going to start off with the pineapple. So I am going to chop the pineapple. I'm only going to use half of the pineapple because you don't actually need that much. You just need to be able to make a cup of juice per experiment. So this is where I was kind of going rogue from the videos that I was watching. The videos all peel and wash the pineapple after they chopped it, but I did find some sort of resource, I don't even remember where, that briefly hinted that the bacteria might actually be found in the peel of the pineapple, which is why I start to contemplate whether or not I wanted to add it. Do I try it with the peel for all of it? Yeah, let's just do the peel. I chose to do this because all of my other experiments had failed, so I was like, I need to change something up or else I am just wasting this pineapple. And I am so glad I did because, spoiler alert, the bacteria is definitely in the peel and not the pineapple, and I will find that out when I succeed soon. I then blended all of the chopped pineapple in the blender. After that, I am going to strain it for all of its chunks because I only need the pineapple juice for the traditional methods that I found online. However, the pulp definitely was not going to go to waste because I wanted to experiment and try to see if you could grow anything from that as well. After I had strained some juice out, I went ahead and measured it, and thankfully it was enough to do the traditional method of the Nata de Kombucha starter. So I went ahead and added that juice into a jar. I then also added a cup of filtered water to that jar, and then of course my 2 tablespoons of sugar. Gave it a good stir, labeled it, and with that my starter was off to ferment. It takes about 1 to 2 weeks once you start to see bubbles and a white sediment, so it was off, and I still wanted to experiment with all of the chunky pineapple crumbs. Now this experiment went rogue because I had no recipe to follow. This was all made up on my own, but I went ahead and tried to follow the traditional process of the starter. So I went ahead and added the crumbs, the filtered water, and the sugar, gave it a good stir, made sure to properly label it because hint, hint, jab, jab, this is the one that actually succeeds. I did let everything sit for a couple of weeks before I went to check in on them. I've got all my Nata de Coco experiments going. Some of these look foul, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, this is the starter. It has a white substance at the bottom, so I'm hoping it's good. It's also got some nasty something going up there. It's fizzy. I don't know if you can tell, but there are bubbles. So I think it's fermented. I think it's good. This one was coconut water, SCOBY, and sugar. It smells like vinegar. It smells like kombucha. Oh, it is growing. There's like another layer. Can you see that layer? There's another one in there. I do need to feed it. What do I feed it? Do I just feed it? I'm gonna get sugar and coconut water. Yeah, deciding what to feed these was kind of difficult, but I ended up going with coconut water and sugar for anything that didn't have a recipe. I would add enough coconut water to make sure it had room to grow, and then I added about 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar every time. So that's set. This one was the coconut water, vinegar, and sugar. Whoa. That doesn't smell like anything. And it doesn't... Let me get a knife or something. I want to see if anything's in it. Oh! I think I was wrong. Also, I think this knife was dirty. That one didn't work. So I'm gonna toss it. Yeah. And then this one was kombucha liquid, coconut water, vinegar, and sugar. There is something in there. Oh, it's mold. There's floating bits in there as well. I want to see what it... Ew. Wait, is this a SCOBY? Could that have been a SCOBY? Nada. But if this was a SCOBY, I do want to add a little more vinegar because apparently the vinegar is what disinfects or prevents it from getting moldy. So splash of vinegar, sugar. Just to see. Who knows? Oh, it's fizzy. I might not completely seal that one. Gonna move the mold away. This one was pineapple pulp, water, and sugar. Why is there a SCOBY in here? Is that not to take? Stop. Okay, look at that right there. There's a SCOBY. Wait, stop. Oh, that's Nata de Coco. Wait, what do I do here? This is supposed to be a starter. Do I just do... Can I transfer it? Huh. These were unprecedented moments. I was not expecting this to happen, and I was very shocked because there should not have been something growing in this. Wait. I made it. I'm too scared to eat it. Hold on, but like it's so... What do I do with this? I'm gonna remove... There's no way. There's no way. Wait, I'm actually so shocked. Okay. Why is it lumpy? Oh. I'm at a loss of words. The one that I was just like, I don't want to throw it away. Let me try it out. Ended up working. Are you seeing this? That's my Nata de Coco. My Nata de Coco. So now the experiment went even more rogue because I had no idea what the next steps were. How does this work now? Do I put this in coconut water? Or do I strain this and use it to make a SCOBY? I'm gonna take this guy, plop him into here, some water. Okay. And then probably sugar. Okay. And we'll see what happens from there. Because I don't know if this is one of those where it's like, you need that only, or if you can harvest more once you've got some, like kombucha. So this, I'll let this one sit for some time. I do want to see if I can use this to create another one. What is in here? Oh, there is. They're starting more. I didn't expect the one without research to do so well. So I was going to experiment by straining some of this juice and using it like a starter like I would with the traditional method. I'm just gonna pour some of this into here. I'm gonna try to strain it as best as possible, but seeing as I don't currently have a strainer, or that's a... Okay, perfect. Third cup of that. Let's try coconut water. Sugar. The second one, I'm gonna just give this one sugar and then let it do its thing. I want to see if it'll grow more. I think maybe also some water, just because I stole some. That's the third one. I'm gonna do the same thing with this starter. Pour the starter into here. I don't know what these clumps are at the top, and I'm not gonna include them. Ew. Oh, I think that's the stuff you want. Wait, but I can't put the whole starter. Let me get a bigger container. I want to put all the starter and coconut water. So I need a bigger one. Okay. Starter, coconut water, a crap ton of sugar. I do need to put vinegar in this one for the normal recipe. This is the one I'm actually following a recipe for. There we go. I said I was tossing this thing out. Everything else, I'm gonna let it go for another week. Oh, this looks like chicken broth, especially in this container. I'm gonna let everything do its thing for about a week, and then I'll be back with some updates soon. As you can see, there are bubbles. They are fermenting, and I put them in airtight containers, which was a bad idea. So I had to crack them all open, but you can see stuff is happening. Well, I think. We'll see. They need air for this process. These are just chilling on my desk. But I'll be back with an update soon. It had been about a week, so I wanted to check in to make sure I fed everything so it continued to grow. Also, I was starting to smell some funky smells and I wanted to get rid of them. Let's start off with kombucha. She's still alive. These are leaking, by the way. They're so fizzy and they just keep leaking. But let's see. Do I feed them? Maybe let's feed them. I am just gonna give it coconut water and sugar. Ew, I touched the inside. I don't think it needs any more coconut water since it's got so much already. But feed the beast. you can see it is creating a new layer, which means it is technically working. Let's move on to these. This one, what are you? There's something on the bottom of this, but also on the top. This one was the kombucha liquid with coconut water, vinegar, and sugar. That is not moldy this time. Ooh. I want to get a knife and investigate what's at the bottom. It's just white liquid. It's basically nothing. It's just a sediment. Oh. Sorry, guy. The camera is not happy with the color of my kombucha. Lightly cover so that it still gets air. This one and the kombucha one right here, I don't think are technically Nata de Coco. This one last time produced Nata de Coco, so let's check in on it. Nothing. This one stinks. What did I give it last time? Water and sugar. Maybe I need to give it coconut water. Oh, wait. I think something is forming. Maybe? Feed it. I don't think it needs water. I don't want to overfill it. So I'll just do that. Give it a good shake. I'll put that one to the side. Okay, this one was the nata that came out of that one last time. Sugar and water. You can see it is still going. It's starting to develop second layers, which is really, really, really good. So I'm gonna just feed it. There's that one. This one, I took some of the juice from that one, put it in with sugar and coconut water, and it developed another SCOBY, Nata de Coco, whatever. I feel like I should have put vinegar in this one. Did I not? I didn't. I think it needs vinegar just because vinegar prevents it from rotting. Was there vinegar in this one? No. Maybe the vinegar is the issue. I'm going to feed this one some sugar, some coconut water. These two are promising. However, I'm too scared to try them. So I don't know if this was just a waste of my time. I really didn't think it would work. Okay, I thought all of my experiments would not work and I would have to make Nata de Kombucha again. However, the fact that it worked is so interesting to me. Now, there's one last one, which is the way that I have the recipe that I've seen online, which is the normal starter, which I used the pineapple juice and then I strained it and then I let it sit in that other container. So the starter, the water, sugar, and vinegar. And this one has come up with that. Ooh, what is that? It's yeasty. Is it mold? Okay, well, it's something. There's also sediment at the bottom. I don't know why is it so brown? The other ones were white. I'm trying to sink it. I'm only gonna give this one sugar. Whoa. Sir? Okay, there we go. Does it float back up? Is that at the bottom? Oh! She's back. To the top. I don't know about this one. I don't know, Chief. I'm gonna let them run a little bit longer because I want the Nata de Coco to be really, really thick. So I'm gonna let these run a lot longer, and then this one hasn't shown anything. So if it doesn't show signs by next time, it's gone. But with that, I'll be back with some updates soon. I'm back with my Nata de Coco. There's too many now. Oh, and some of these stink. Okay, let's start off with this one right here. This one was the original recipe, and that's nasty. I'm tossing it out. That smells like alcohol, and I don't want to find out what that actually is. This one is the
original starter. I tried to see if it would grow some more. It did not, so it is going. This one is the starter, and I just added more water and sugar to it. And it is doing, oh, it's a little dry, but it's doing great. This one is kombucha water with sugar and coconut water. It grew a SCOBY for sure, but like that's definitely a SCOBY. I think I'm gonna toss this one because I've got the real deal. The actual SCOBY itself is doing great. It is definitely a little dry, so I'm gonna shake it around. It's doing great. I think it is growing more layers, and I kind of want to see if it will keep going, so I'm gonna keep this one. And last but not least, this is the Nata de Coco that I found in the starter, and it's growing. It doesn't smell, which is good. It is definitely like a dark pink. I'm not sure why, but I'm gonna let it keep going. I'm gonna keep these 3, and I'm gonna toss the other 3 that are smelling a little wrong. I'm also gonna procrastinate as long as possible because I am very scared to try this. I don't know what I'm growing, but I'm hopeful it's right. This box contains my Nata de Coco. We obviously did a little move, and so I want to check in on them, see what's happening. This is their new home. I got a new home and they also have a new home, just because they stink. That's better. This is the kombucha one. I mean, it's doing its thing. I don't know how I feel about it. This one is the starter juice, and then I just have been feeding it. And you can see it's there. It is growing. It's not as thick as I want it to be. This one is the one that I found in the starter. You can see it's also not very, very thick. I'm not sure how long you're supposed to grow these for them to get to the thickness I want, but I'm gonna feed them. So let's do that. Got coconut water and some sugar. If you're like, I could do this at home, just be aware, it smells like vinegar anywhere near these, which is why I have them in a box, and which is why I had to eliminate so many of them, because I just I couldn't stand the smell. No, you're gonna need a lot. Oh, ooh. Is this sugar? Yeah. Okay. That's about a tablespoon. Okay, you get a little. You get a little. You get a little. It's really interesting to see that they turn the coconut water orange. Maybe another couple of weeks and then I should be able to eat them. They're just so thin and I want them to be like cubes. They're off. I'll be back in a week. Another day, another checking in. What are these again? My Nata de Coco. Starting off with my sleeves getting stuck. The kombucha SCOBY. That smells like kombucha. It is growing layers. Here's its splash of coconut water. Good dust and the sugar, actually. Next one is not looking great. This is the Nata de Coco that came out of the first step. It is bubbly in there. It's just not that thick. I just don't think it's gonna grow more. Let me give it its serving of sugar. Last but not least is the one done the traditional method, using the juice and moving it into a separate container. Honestly, this one's pretty thick. You can see it's about like if what I'm seeing.
Have you ever had a dream that you
is right? It's about an inch. Give it its sugar. I don't think I'm gonna give it coconut water because these guys will spill. I'll shake the sugar. I'm kind of really just feeding them at this point because I'm procrastinating eating them because I don't want to die. I don't know if I will. Like, I don't know if these are actually right. I will let them do one more week to see if they can get any thicker, although I feel like they have not been progressing. But here's to finding out. And mark next week is my date of death if this doesn't work. These are off for one more week and then we will cook them.
Today's the day that I've decided to risk my life on my Nata de Coco. I'm scared. I'm gonna be honest. I am very scared. But let's take a look at the specimens. The kombucha one. What is this one? This one's the, one of these. Ew, it's spilled everywhere. No. Can I just not do this anymore? Wish there was smell-o-vision because you need to smell. Honestly, just go smell some apple cider vinegar. That's what this stuff smells like, but like worse. I want to dissect these, chop them up because the next step in Nata de Coco is to cook them in a sugar syrup to help sweeten them. Honestly, the kombucha one, I'm just gonna throw away because I've already done Nata de Kombucha and I think eating 2 mysterious concoctions is enough. I have been pushing this off for weeks because I'm like, I want to die on my own accord. Not this. These, which, you know what? They're so worth their price after everything I've gone through. Yeah, I see why they're so freaking expensive. Okay. This stuff is so good. Seriously. Oh, the other thing I noticed is that these are actually flavored to banana, which is why I like them, is essentially what I'm saying. But yeah, I was reading the ingredients. It is coconut gel, water, sugar, citric acid, artificial banana flavor, and sucralose. This one I will taste test, and not reluctantly, because this stuff is so good. But this is what I have been trying to recreate. It is a gel texture. Hold on. I've lost it. Look at that. It's a squishy ice cube. But it is such an interesting texture. It's like the coconut jellies in boba. I don't have banana flavoring because I just read it and found out that it was banana flavoring. So we're gonna pretend. Maybe cutting it will show off the texture, but like, see, there's like a resistance to it initially, but then as soon as you go in, it's like buttery smooth. I don't know how to explain it. Now let's chop these. This one was the nata that grew inside. I don't want to touch it. If you look, it is still growing more and more. So like this is totally viable, but I'm not gonna use it. I'm so scared for my life. Oh my God, the texture is actually cakey. Oh, the texture. Oh. Can we not splash everywhere? It is spot on. I'm trying to leave this one layer because if I don't die, maybe I can give it away to someone who actually wants the texture. Spot on. The thing is it's like different pieces, so it's not like one. This one is actually pretty thick, but they're thin layers. I can't believe I'm touching this. It's not gonna make a big chunk like in the normal nata. I can't even cut into it. I'm gonna take off. I'm just gonna use this thick layer. Okay. Like that is the right texture for reals, for reals. Oh my God. Okay, actually I kind of like touching the texture until I think about what it is. Let's just, yep, that is it. Oh my goodness, I did it. And I'm not happy about it. Cutting this into cubes is hard. How did they, I wonder if they shape it before it formulates. That one is cut. This is the one that I did the normal way. Like I'm just gonna cook them separately in case the texture is different, but I'm cutting them on the same cutting board because they're from the same mother. Oh, this one's vinegary. This one's layers. Oh, ooh, what is this? It's like a goop. This one is like a lot different. I'm gonna just use one layer. This one is a lot thicker. It's squirting everywhere. It's definitely closer to the thickness of Nata de Coco. I bet you if I had just run the experiment a little bit longer, okay, I take it back. Some of it is closer. Like, but that texture is spot on. It just needs to be a cube. And I know with my kombucha, it started to become cubey when I let it grow more and more and more. So like this is definitely just like baby Nata de Coco. This one is also cutting more like Nata de Coco, whereas this one was a lot more chicken. They're chopped. So now what I need to do is to get a bowl of water and to just get the vinegary acidity out, massage the vinegar out. So that's what I'm gonna do. Water acquired. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, there's so much juice everywhere. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. How do I get rid of this juice? Okay, give me a second. One part is massaging it. Ew, all of the pink particles are coming out. This one was the one that came out of the Nata de Coco starter. This one is the one that was made the traditional way. But what I'm gonna do is squeeze, get as much of it out, change the water, repeat that 3 times, and then we will let them soak in the last batch for about 2 hours. So I'm gonna do that off camera. Okay, it's been some time. These guys have been soaking. It is time to cook them. So what I'm gonna do is take you over to the stove. We're gonna do each batch individually so that I can compare them. And then basically what I'm gonna do is take these, put them in boiling sugar water until they start to take in that sugar water and they're gonna turn transparent like the one in the jar. So let's go do that. Ta-da! Let's get to cooking. So for this, I'm gonna figure out which one of these burners is this one. Perfect. I'm just gonna put it on medium heat, and then I'm just gonna add a bunch of water. That feels like the right amount. And then a crap ton of sugar. Yeah, good enough. And then I'm gonna get the spatula that I forgot and just wait until the sugar gets dissolved, and then I'll add in the nata. Nata. The sugar is dissolved. This process takes a while for them to turn translucent, so I'll just keep you updated. I absolutely regret doing this, okay? My room smells like stinky feet. This smells like stinky feet. It is actually so disgusting. I have like gagged 500 billion times. Anyways, these have been going for like half an hour and are still not translucent, so I think this is as good as it's gonna get. So these guys are off, and then I'm gonna do the next batch, and then I'll be back for the taste test. Store-bought, the accidental one that came out of the starter, and then the one following the actual recipe. Obviously, first thing is the shape. But you can tell like it is the right texture, like the way it gelatinized or whatever you want. The thing is it's pink, so it makes me think you're not supposed to do coconut water after the first. That is that. Let's taste test. This one was from the starter, the one that we found in the starter. This is the one that was cooked normally. And then this is the one I'm probably gonna like the most. I could have just pretended that I lost them, or that I threw them out, or they dissolved. But you know what? For the sake of science. Oh, they smell like stinky feet. They smell like a gym locker, but I'm gonna have such a bad tummy ache if this ain't it. Here we go. What? Hold on. I took a nibble. That is the right texture, just really thin, and it's still kind of like soft. The normal one is a lot more crunchy. Interesting. Okay, let's try this one. This one is still hot, but I didn't want to delay my inevitable any longer. This one's spot on. The texture is right. It is still like really thin, but like, wow, that one is spot on. Also, they don't taste like stinky feet. They just smell like stinky feet, which is why I'm guessing they probably put banana in here. I will happily try this one. Oh no, I've never tried this one. Let's try it. If I add banana flavoring to this, it would be spot on. I'm very shocked that this worked. I'm just treating myself right now because this took me like 6 months. I don't know, a ridiculous amount of time. But I'm glad I perfected it. Will I be doing this again? Probably not. Actually, if I survive, yeah, maybe. Probably won't remake it. I'm gonna try to keep the other ones alive. If I can keep them alive and get them thicker, I'll probably do like an update video. I don't think they're gonna get thicker. And I don't really know what it needs to eat. Like I keep giving it coconut water and sugar, but I'm not sure if that's actually what it needs. This was actually surprisingly a success. I'm very proud of myself for accomplishing it, but also low-key, like, did I really have to put myself through that? I'm terrified. I'm terrified that I'm gonna end up in the hospital. See what happens. If I survive, I'll keep them. If not, I'll let you know, and I will toss them out. So here we go.